God says, your son's life is about to be transformed. Listen carefully, not with your ears, but with the place inside you that trembles when truth comes too close. Something is shifting. Something ancient, something unseen, something that does not ask for permission. And it concerns your son. There are moments in time when heaven leans closer to earth, when the veil thins and what has been hidden begins to stir. This is one of those moments. You may not understand it yet. You may even resist it. But what is coming cannot be stopped by fear, doubt, or delay. Your son's life is about to be transformed. Not gently, not quietly, but deeply, completely, and in ways that will echo far beyond what you can see. For a long time, you have watched him. You have worried. You have questioned the paths he has taken, the choices he has made, the silence he sometimes carries. You have asked, is he lost? You have wondered if something inside him has dimmed. But I tell you now, nothing has been wasted. Every detour, every mistake, every sleepless night has been part of a preparation you could not fully understand. What looked like confusion was shaping. What felt like distance was positioning. What seemed like delay was alignment. You saw fragments. I saw the whole. There are seeds I placed in him long before you ever knew his name. Seeds of purpose. Seeds of strength. Seeds of a calling that cannot be erased, no matter how far he has wandered. And now those seeds are awakening. But hear this warning. Transformation is not comfort. When I move in a life, I do not rearrange the surface. I uproot what cannot remain. I expose what has been hidden. I break what has become a prison, even if it once felt like protection. Your son will face moments that shake him. Situations that will force him to choose truth over convenience. People will leave his life, not because he has failed, but because they cannot walk where he is being called to go. Old habits will begin to feel heavy, unbearable even, as if his own spirit is rejecting them. Do not mistake this for destruction. It is refinement. There will be nights when he feels alone, days when he questions everything, times when he stands at the edge of decisions that will define his future. And in those moments, he will not be abandoned. I will be there, in the quiet thought that interrupts his fear, in the unexpected clarity that arrives at just the right time, in the strength he cannot explain but suddenly feels. You may not always see my hand, but my hand will be there. And you, listen carefully, you have a role in this. Do not speak fear into his transformation. Do not try to pull him back into what feels safe to you, but is no longer meant for him. Your love must not become a cage. Your concern must not become a barrier. Instead, stand firm. Pray, even when you don't have the words. Trust, even when the path looks uncertain. Support him, even when you do not fully understand what he is becoming. Because what he is becoming is not accidental. There is something inside your son that has been waiting for this moment. A calling that will not stay silent any longer. A fire that has been dimmed but never extinguished. And when it ignites, it will change everything. He will begin to see differently. The things that once attracted him will lose their hold. The noise of the world will start to fade, and he will hear something deeper, something calling him forward. He may not recognize it immediately. He may resist it. He may try to return to what is familiar, but it will no longer fit him. Because transformation changes the very nature of a person. It rewrites desires. It reshapes priorities. It reveals truths that cannot be unseen. And once that process begins, there is no going back. This is why you must not panic when things start to shift. There will be signs. Conversations that seem small but carry great weight. Opportunities that appear suddenly, almost unexpectedly. Moments where everything seems to pause, as if time itself is holding its breath. Pay attention. These are not coincidences. They are markers, signals that the transformation has begun. But there's also something you must understand. Opposition will come. Whenever something significant is about to emerge, resistance rises. Doubt will whisper. Fear will try to take root. Circumstances may seem to turn against him at the very moment he begins to move forward. This is not a sign to retreat. It is a sign that he is close. Your son will need courage, not the kind that feels strong, but the kind that moves forward even while trembling. He will need discernment to recognize what is truth and what is distraction. And he will need faith, not perfect faith, but enough to take the next step. And you must not underestimate the power of your presence in this journey. Sometimes your silence will speak louder than advice. Sometimes your patience will carry more strength than words. Sometimes simply being there, without judgment, without pressure, will give him the space he needs to become who he is meant to be. There are things I am doing in his life that you cannot control. And that is not a flaw. It is part of the design. Because if everything depended on what you could see and manage, he would never reach the fullness of what he is meant to become. Transformation requires surrender. Not just from him, but from you as well. There will come a moment, listen closely, when you will realize that the son you thought you knew is changing in ways you did not expect. He will speak differently, think differently, move differently, and you may feel a quiet fear. Who is he becoming? But do not let that fear take root, because the answer is this: he is becoming who he was always meant to be. Not the version shaped by pressure, not the version defined by mistakes, but the version aligned with purpose. This is not a loss. It is a revelation. There are doors that are about to open for him, doors that no one around him may fully understand, paths that will require him to step into unfamiliar territory, responsibilities that may feel too great at first. But I do not call without equipping. Everything he needs has already been placed within him. Strength he has not yet discovered. Wisdom he has not yet accessed. Resilience he has not yet tested. And when the moment comes, these things will rise to meet him. Do not rush the process. Do not try to predict every step. There are parts of this journey that must unfold in their own time. What matters is not how quickly it happens, but how deeply it transforms him. Because this transformation is not just about success or achievement or outward change. It is about identity. It is about awakening. It is about aligning his life with something greater than himself. And once that alignment takes place, everything else will begin to fall into position. You may not see it all at once, but piece by piece, it will come together. There is a reason you are hearing this now. A reason this message has reached you at this moment. Because something is already in motion, and you are being prepared, not to control it, not to direct it, but to witness it with trust. Your son's life is about to be transformed. And when it happens, it will not just change him. It will change you as well. It will deepen your understanding, strengthen your faith, expand your perspective. Because transformation does not happen in isolation. It ripples outward, touching everything connected to it. So stand ready, not with fear, but with expectation. Not with doubt, but with quiet confidence. Because what is coming is not chaos. It is purpose. Not destruction, but renewal. Not loss, but becoming. And even in the moments when it feels uncertain, when the path seems unclear, when the weight of it all feels too heavy, remember this: He is not walking this alone. And neither are you. And neither are you. There is more unfolding than what your eyes can measure. More being arranged than what your thoughts can comprehend. Even now, in the quiet, unseen places, alignment is taking place. You may feel a tension in the air, a subtle pressure, a sense that something is about to break open. That feeling is not without reason, because transformation, when it reaches a certain point, does not whisper anymore. It announces itself. Your son will begin to experience clarity in unexpected ways. Things that once confused him will start to make sense. Patterns will reveal themselves. Lessons from the past will connect with the present. This is not coincidence. This is awareness being activated. And with awareness comes responsibility. He will begin to understand the weight of his decisions, not as fear but as truth. He will see how small choices shape larger outcomes, how discipline creates freedom, how consistency builds strength. This is where many falter, not because they lack potential, but because they resist structure. But your son will not remain the same. There will be a shift in how he uses his time, a shift in what he tolerates, a shift in what he values. He may pull away from distractions, from empty conversations, from environments that drain more than they give. Do not misunderstand this distance. It is not rejection. It is refinement. There are seasons in life where separation is necessary, where stepping back becomes the only way to step forward. Even in the scriptures, there were moments of withdrawal before purpose was revealed. Consider this: Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46 verse 10. Stillness is not weakness, it is preparation. In stillness, clarity is formed. In silence, direction is heard. In pause, strength is gathered. Your son is being drawn into moments like this. Moments where noise fades and truth becomes undeniable. But hear this warning with care. Clarity can feel uncomfortable at first, because when truth becomes visible, excuses lose their power. Old narratives begin to collapse. Illusions can no longer hide. He may face parts of himself he has avoided, fears he has buried, doubts he has ignored. This is not punishment. This is exposure for the sake of healing. Growth requires honesty. Real transformation demands confrontation with reality. And in those moments, your response matters more than you realize. Do not rush to fix everything. Do not interrupt his process with constant correction. Sometimes the greatest support is quiet understanding. Allow him space to think, to reflect, to process, because what is happening inside him cannot be forced from the outside. There is also something deeper taking place, a restructuring of identity. He is not just changing habits. He is redefining who he is. And identity shapes everything. The way he speaks, the way he carries himself, the way he responds under pressure. You will notice it in small details first. A different tone in his voice, a new level of focus in his actions, a calmness where there was once restlessness. Do not overlook these signs. Transformation rarely begins with loud announcements. It begins with subtle shifts. But those small shifts, when sustained, create powerful outcomes. This is where education becomes part of the transformation. Not just formal learning, but life understanding. He will begin to ask better questions. Not just what should I do, but why does this matter? He will seek meaning, not just results. Depth, not just speed. This is a sign of maturity, and with maturity comes discernment. He will start to recognize the difference between opportunity and distraction, between urgency and importance, between noise and truth. These distinctions will guide him. They will protect him from wasting time, from misplacing energy, from following paths that lead nowhere. But even with this growth, challenges will not disappear. In fact, some may increase, because growth attracts resistance. When someone begins to rise, pressure often follows, not to destroy, but to test. Tests reveal strength. They expose weak foundations. They force refinement. Your son will face these moments, situations that require patience, circumstances that demand resilience, decisions that carry weight. And in those moments, remember this truth. He does not need to be perfect. He needs to be willing to learn, willing to adjust, willing to continue, even when it is difficult. Perfection is not the requirement. Progress is. And progress over time creates transformation. There will also be moments of unexpected favor, doors opening without struggle, connections forming naturally, opportunities aligning at the right time. These are not random events. They are part of the alignment process. But even favor requires wisdom. He must learn to handle opportunity with discipline, to manage growth with humility, to remain grounded even when things begin to rise. This balance is essential, because without it, success can become unstable. Teach him this, not just with words, but with example. Show him consistency. Show him integrity. Show him what it means to remain steady, even when circumstances change. Because transformation is not a moment. It is a process, a continuous unfolding, a steady progression. There will be highs. There will be lows. There will be moments of certainty and moments of doubt. This is normal. What matters is direction. Is he moving forward? Is he learning? Is he becoming more aligned with truth? If the answer is yes, then the process is working, and you must trust it. There may come a time when he surpasses your expectations, when he steps into roles you never imagined, when his life begins to impact others in meaningful ways. When that moment comes, do not hold on to the past version of him. Celebrate the growth. Release the old image. Embrace the new reality. Because transformation is not meant to be contained, is meant to expand. Your son's life will begin to influence others. Through his actions, through his decisions, through his example, people will notice. Not because he seeks attention, but because authenticity stands out. Truth has a presence. Integrity has a weight. And when someone lives in alignment, it becomes visible. But with influence comes responsibility. He must remain aware, grounded, focused. He must remember where he came from, but not be limited by it. He must stay open to learning, even as he grows. Because the moment growth stops, decline begins. This is why humility is essential, not as weakness, but as strength. The ability to learn, to listen, to adapt. These qualities will sustain him. And you must continue to support without controlling, guide without forcing, encourage without overwhelming, because his journey is his own. And yet, your presence remains important. A steady anchor, a quiet strength, a consistent source of support. There will be days when he does not say much, days when he seems distant, days when he is fully absorbed in his path. Do not take this personally. Growth often requires focus, and focus sometimes creates distance. But distance does not mean disconnection. It means dedication. Trust what is being built. Trust what is being shaped. Trust what is being revealed. Because this transformation is not temporary, is foundational, is creating something that will last. Something that will endure beyond moments, beyond circumstances. And when you look back, you will understand why things happened the way they did, why delays were necessary, why challenges were allowed. It will make sense. Not all at once, but gradually, piece by piece, until clarity replaces confusion, and peace replaces uncertainty. So remain steady. Remain observant. Remain open, because what is happening now is significant, is not random, is not accidental. It is intentional. Your son's life is being transformed, and this transformation will speak for itself.